Welcome back, folks. Sport Federation TV. It's, of course, 2022, and as you know, a lot of our sport codes are back in action already. In fact, a lot of the sport codes managed to do quite a lot of training during the holidays. We know that some sport codes, individuals do their own training in addition to, of course, when there's clubs that are open where they actually go to the clubs with specific classes and coaches. And during these holiday times, of course, a lot of the athletes have to keep staying fit and are able to do so either in their gyms that they go to, or they'll carry on doing road work or running or additional supplementary exercises in addition to the actual classes. The president of Western Cape Kickboxing joins me on the line. There's, of course, no difference for a kickboxer. They have to stay fit and ready to get back into action. Josh Cloete, welcome back.
JP, thank you so much for having Western Cape Kickboxing on Cape Town TV.
Josh, yeah, welcome back, 2022. I suppose you guys are ready for action. I've seen some of your calendars, and you already have a whole list of fixtures planned for the year.
Yes, yeah, no, I think 2022, without a doubt, is going to be a good year for sports, and specifically for Western Cape Kickboxing. I mean, we already start with some of the districts having their district championships already by the end of January.
Do you think that there's a question of some of the athletes are going to be looking to play catch-up? That the last 2 years has been so difficult for sport. Of course, everything has been very tightly managed, a lot of restrictions on sport. I'm sure a lot of the athletes will be hungry and ready to go.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. I mean, if I'm taking back at last year in November or end of October, we had the South African Kickboxing Championships, which was very well attended, which obviously gave us an indication of how hungry the kickboxers are to compete. And we're looking at now at Cape Town will probably be now the first district that's having their district championships in end of January. So, and that already indicates a very full schedule for the championships.
So, Josh, if you look at the last few years of Western Cape Kickboxing, and we know that you've got all your districts in place, West Coast, Cape Town, Eden, Overberg districts, Cape Winelands. If you look at the districts and we look at sport codes normally have age divisions, where age groups you will see whether there are players or athletes coming through the ranks. Of course, with kickboxing you have weight divisions as well. Are you seeing a growth? Or have you seen in the last 2 or 3 years athletes coming through the ranks that are now starting to get a little bit more serious, maybe get some sort of level of maturity in their fighting?
Yes, there's no doubt about that. You see, kickboxing, we always say kickboxing is a sport where all genders and demographics competing. I mean, we have age groups, where we're talking about kiddies, younger cadets, juniors, seniors. We talk about veterans. So we cover all spectrum in terms of age, and all those age categories have their own weight categories as well.
Yeah.
So the competition is quite fairly on a fairly base, not excluding everybody. So it's quite inclusive. And also because of kickboxing, we have 7 different modes in SA kickboxing, which is a nice, quite big variety for members to compete. And it's not everybody that just go into the boxing ring, but I mean, we have 3 modes that's taking place on the floor, which is of a light contact nature. So from a kickboxing perspective, we provide so much variety. And people from different walks of lives, and also people from different perspectives can then compete. If you don't want to be hit hard, then you do your soft style kickboxing, which is on the floor.
So one of the things that I've always wondered about, Josh, if we look at the sport codes, like we were talking about age divisions, for example, and of course in kickboxing you've got weight categories as well. In the other sport codes, you're either under 15 or under 16 or under 19 or something like that. Now, of course, with kickboxing, you're in an age division, but you're also in a weight division. Now, there's nothing you can do about your age. You're going to get older. You're not going to get younger. You're going to get older and go into a next age category. But what does a fighter do when they have to stay in a certain weight division? I mean, I'm assuming when you're younger, it's easier to stay in a weight division. But do you have to make sure that you stay in a certain weight?
Actually, no, just a contrast in actually when you get older as a junior and or as a senior, then it becomes very critical for your weight division, and it's also then easier for the person to stay in the weight division because he or she understood or understand the importance of being in that specific weight division. You know, especially if you want to become the champion in that division and or remain champion in that division, then of course you need to stay in that division. So as a young cadet or as a kiddie, your weight does not really play a role because it will ultimately fluctuate as you grow. So when you are a
So Josh, talk us a little bit through the plans for the year. Couple of competitions happening at district level. What is the migration? You compete at your club, and your club registers you to compete at a district level. Is that right? And then after that, you go to the provincials and the nationals and so on.
Yes, no, JP, that's exactly what it is. I know there is now a couple of club events coming down, where the guys are prepping now for the district championship, specifically, like I said earlier on, the 29th of January will be Cape Town Kickboxing District Championships. And I know in Feb and in early March, it will be West Coast as well as Eden and Cape Winelands, because then we have, at the end of March, we have Western Cape Championships. So what happened in those districts will then select their teams to participate in the Western Cape Championships. And from the Western Championships that's taking place in end of March, there the Western Cape will then select a provincial team, where thereafter will then compete in the South African National Kickboxing Championships. That is taking place the 5th to the 8th of May, and that taking place within the province of the Western Cape, specifically in district. So we are quite excited about that. And then thereafter, the national team obviously will then be selected to compete in 1 or 2 international events.
Josh, it's exciting to have you guys back. We know it's early days, but certainly we look like kickboxing is going to get a lot of exposure this year. We hope you're going to get a lot of new members signing up at all the different clubs that you have. And yeah, we'll say to you, thanks for joining us, and we're excited to see what comes next.
Now, JP, this year, definitely kickboxing, we are definitely kicking a storm up this year. We're excited about the year. I think the year started good. There's no restrictions. Like last year, we started with restrictions. This year, it's all open up. The clubs indicated that the guys are training. And yeah, no, there's definitely, we're looking at specifically having a kickboxing league within the realm of SA Kickboxing and the Western Cape Kickboxing. So we are very excited about this year. And I think the kickboxers, they can't wait for the year to start.
Well, we're super excited to profile those kickboxers on TV, so we're looking forward to that. Josh, we leave it at that and say good luck. Yeah. I'm sure maybe this is your last weekend to relax a little bit before it's all systems go next week.
Thank you so much for having us.
There we go, folks. Josh Cloete, of course, president of Western Cape Kickboxing, and another sport code that is excited to get the wheels turning in 2022. They've got all their ducks in a row. The competition leagues are scheduled. We're looking forward to profiling the fighters. And I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of new champions coming through the ranks. Folks, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll carry on talking sport in the province. Back in a sec.